What is up, beautiful people? You know who it is. Wolfbrother Methos Kushmanada from the channel Frost and Fist, and welcome to Wolfbrother Wednesday. So, time for a hobby update, guys. So the last thing I did in this hobby, starting back on Friday, is went to my local game store and I had me a match. Our local TO, Uncle Buck, said, hey Methos, you want a match? And Uncle Buck is a strong opponent. I mean, there's a reason why he runs our tournaments. And I knew that I was going to be in for a tough fight. But I was excited because he has a reputation for having a very strong Ad Mech army. And I think he usually plays them as 30k. And so they're extra, I'm told 30k Ad Mech is very strong. So I already knew I was in for kind of a tough fight. But then, once I got to setting up the table, he said, no, I'm not bringing my normal Ad Mech. I'm going for the Ad Mech War Convocation. And, oh my god, I got to find out how strong that list is. And he warned me up front. He said, this is my competitive list. I'm just now starting to practice it. I need to get some practice with this list. This is my list to take to the Las Vegas LVO. So, I knew that if he was going to go face competitors from around the world, I was going to be in for a bad time. But again, I've never seen Ad Mech played like in person, getting in close with them. I've never seen definitely the War Convocation. And if it was going to be something that was going to be facing the LVO, I was kind of excited to see how strong it was. And man, it was strong. You're going to see some pictures here. But I didn't want to do a full battle report for this, mostly because I have a little pride. I knew how badly my butt was going to get kicked. Or no, I thought I knew. But it was really bad. Plus, Uncle Buck was getting used to the rules, trying to get warmed up before he goes to the LVO. So there was a lot of periods where we had some downtime, had a few drinks together, he was going over the rules. You know, we were really just hanging out. And it wasn't so much about, you know, one person stomping another, mostly me. Wasn't so much about that, but you know, I was just helping him get used to the list while I got my butt kicked. Now, if you don't know, this strong force is, of course, it's the Cult Mechanicus Battle Congregation Detachment, Skitarii Battle Maniple, and an Imperial Knight Oathsworn Detachment. And combined together, these guys create a powerful force and lots of rules that stack on top of each other. I was hit with one weapon that, of course, dropped my toughness by 1, and then I was hit with basically orbital bombardment. So it's a pretty cool combo, because you drop anything's toughness by 1, and even stuff that's strength 6 comes down to strength 5 and can be doubled out. So that's kind of, I mean, that's pretty powerful. That's kind of neat. There's a lot of weapons that when you roll 6s to hit or 6s to wounds, whatever the case was for the weapon, it incurred more hits. Kind of like the Necron rule that does something like that. Yeah, one of those things. And when I'm not trying to think about it, when I'm trying to go to sleep tonight, that's when the name will come to me. But anyways, it was a really strong list, and it was actually kind of neat. Of course, in the usual Ad Mech kind of way, you know, there was rules that stacked up, and when to choose to change rules, and when to choose to be able to run the same rule. And I think there were certain units that got to shoot twice from one of his abilities he used. I'm not really clear. Again, there was a lot of pausing the game and flipping through rules and books and stuff like that. So I wasn't super focused at the time. I just know that I died a lot. Let me tell you how bad it was. I had my Death Star in the middle unit, the whole squad kitted out with storm shields and, you know, 3 Thunderwolf Cav, a Wolf Lord on Wolf Mount, an Iron Priest on Wolf Mount, 4 Cyber Wolves. You know, I had just a big, beefy unit. Had some buffs from the Wolfen going around. And my Death Star was axed out first turn. I mean, it was pretty tough. And of course, a lot of the things that I had were 2 wounds because, you know, my toughness was dropped, and then you stack stuff like the orbital bombardment on top of it and stuff like that. I was really, I mean, not having 2 wounds or feeling no pain really didn't even matter. So a lot of the survivability that I was used to cut out from underneath me. So it was kind of cool to see the way the rules stacked together. It had definitely a certain flow to the army. Very impressive to watch. So if you haven't checked out the Adeptus Mechanicus War Convocation, I definitely recommend checking it out. Definitely super strong. And I did tell him, in repayment for helping him test his list, I asked very humbly if he comes across Ace Space while he's at the LVO, get an autograph for me, because that would be awesome. So, helping me feel better, my main man Freak, okay, was working Friday night. Didn't think I'd get to hang out with him too much, but the man showed up in uniform, okay, said as soon as he was done with work, and said, hey, I'm making time to hang out. And it's cool. So one of the things that saved my night is I got in a package from the ShadowCat, awesome friend of the show, and decided to send me a gift. And if you follow her channel, you know she's been working on a particular model she wanted to send me. And I did the unboxing, and we'll go check that out right now. Got a little unboxing here from the ShadowCat for a model she sent. Geigor the Fell-Handed from the Burning of Prospero set that she painted up specifically for me, and that's a really cool honor. So I'm about to open up the box. Y'all don't get into that. I know y'all are talking about my knife handling skills. Don't judge me. Don't judge the fact that I'm cutting towards myself.
You're a ninja.
Rather than looking.
You're a dyslexic ninja.
Oh, okay, that's kind of helpful. I know y'all are judging. I asked not to be judged, okay?
Don't worry, Methos, I'm an Eagle Scout. I still do it.
Huh?
Don't worry, I'm an Eagle Scout. I still do it.
Alright guys, check this out.
Oh no, it's a trick one. What does it do? Reduce symbol save.
That is a really cool working of Geigor the Fell-Handed. Really, I mean, look how detailed she got with the face, the hair, the bone. It just looks really cool. And check out this custom base.
That is nice.
Put together herself. Really awesome.
So
I'm going to show up some more pictures in the corner right here. Where some up close, more detailed, well lit pictures of the model. And you guys will be seeing this on Wolfbrother Wednesday. Till then guys, stay frosty. Alright guys, so that is the unboxing from ShadowCat's gift, and that Geigor the Fell-Hand looks awesome. It's an amazing model to begin with, and you can tell she put a lot of detail in there, all kinds of shades, some highlights, and I mean she does such fine detail. She got in there and did the eyes, and that is more detail than I can do. I'm going to be honest with you guys. My skill level is not quite there yet to be able to do the eyes, and so a lot of the times, don't give away my trade secrets, but I just make the dot for the eyes, and then once I'm done with my washes and highlights and stuff like that, there's a shadowy kind of impression that makes it look like eyes are there, but I'm really, really bad at actually being able to draw in eyes. So the fact that I could get in there and see the eyes, and she had kind of the ghost eyes effects going on for Geigor, and I'm just, oh man, what an incredibly cool model, and extremely well done. Thank you, ShadowCat. You've got an abundance of talent, and I am really stoked. Thank you so much. Definitely going on my shelf next to my Kablam's Dice, my Iron Priest, and Sergeant Tata's. So thank you so, so much. I mean, you're as generous as you are talented. So that was cool. That helped save my night. That was my hobby update as far as getting in there, playing, and going to the hobby store. What else I've done in the hobby lately is, I got the bikes put together, got them primed up. Actually had to start over with one of them because it was my first time. I tried some of the Vallejo primer through my airbrush, and not really a technique for me. I didn't like the way it came out. I didn't like how the texture it came out in my airbrush. And after a while, I got the other three bikes looking okay. It did kind of a primer. I did kind of a rough priming job on my first bike, and it was just a little off. And I thought I could run with it, but then I put down my base coat, and you could just tell that from underneath it just was going to be a rough texture. So I stripped the whole thing down and started over, and that cost me a little time because these bikes are due this coming Friday. And so I had to make a decision, you know, whether I'm going to try and be more efficient at meeting my deadline and not strip the bikes, that bike, or strip the bike because of quality. And in the end, the Wolfbrother doesn't believe in turning in luck, so I dropped it in the drink. And while that one was stripping, I started to go ahead and paint up the other ones. That's why if you've been following our Facebook page at the Frost and Fists, you know, the earliest pictures that I put up were all of 3 bikes when I should be turning in 4 bikes. So that one was in the drink, and I stopped in. I decided to go back to my old rattle can ways, so I got some rattle can primer and primed it up the next day, let it dry for a couple hours, and got started. And honestly, I did so much work over the weekend on the bikes that all my base coats were down and a bunch of my highlights were down. So all of Monday was really just spent trying to play catch up and get that bike back to the standard, or up to the standard where the other ones were, so I could continue in a batch style process. And I'm thinking they're looking pretty good. Let's take a look. Alright guys, so that's how they look now, and I really am pleased and quite chuffed with the way that the highlights are looking, because I looked at it when I first put down that base coat of that midnight blue, Cantor blue for the Night Lords. It was so dark against that black background that it was hard to tell where the blue started and where the black started, and it really didn't look that impressive. And I knew I needed to do something. I did not want, man, I got hiccups bad tonight. I did not want a flat dark blue against a black not really showing through. Okay, so normally on most of the models where it is that dark against dark, you know, with the Night Lords I have borders and stuff like that where I can stack the gold and cause, you know, have some shadows and breaks. But on these bikes there was no, especially the attack bike, there was a border. But with the Outrider bikes, it's just smooth curves. There was no border. So I thought long and hard about how I'm going to create these breaks in the area and really kind of brighten it up. And so I decided, instead of doing an extreme edge highlighting, I did a dry brush style highlighting, and you'll be able to see all over the curves of the bikes, you know, where I decided to dry brush and bring out, I did want to bring out the hard edges like an extreme highlight style, but I wanted the brush over to really brighten up the flat surfaces of the bike. And it came out a really set of nice shades of blue. I started with the Cantor Midnight Blue as my base coat, but when I started dry brushing, I did a kind of a firm dry brush of Caldor Sky, and then to really brighten it up, I did some Teclis blue mixed in with some white, some pure white. Mix that together to get a nice light sky blue, and I dry brush that over the edges much more lightly, and that really brightened up and caused several fades of color transition that I was really happy with. So I think the bikes look exactly the way I want them to now, and I really think I did a lot of things to really give it a more, I don't know, almost glowy kind of feel, and that's the kind of thing I like to see on the Night Lords, you know, that kind of glowy effect. When I was doing a hard, my first idea was to do the hard midnight blue and put lightning decal effects on them, but I think this level of glow would clash with the lightning, but I think the highlighting style that I ended up doing actually, to me personally, looks better than actually doing the solid color in the lightning bolts. Or so he would say about his own work, wouldn't he? But nonetheless, I went with what I liked, and I think the bikes look great. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. So, that is my hobby updates. Now, that's what I've done in the hobby, but I'm going to show you some things some other people have done in the hobby. And I'm really, really inspired because people have sent a couple of these awesome folks out here in the community have sent your Wolf Brothers some pictures of their Space Wolf army. And let me tell you guys, I just love seeing other Space Wolves and how you guys do them up. So by all means, please send those to me. And I'd love to share with you guys what some of these awesome people in the community sent me. So we're going to have our first ever look at the Pack of the Wolf Brother starting now. Alright guys, so I'm really excited that I got some pictures of other people's Space Wolves and I didn't even ask for it, and it's really cool that they all came in this week. So again, I'd like more of that. Please send me your guys' Space Wolf army because I definitely want to see it. So if you send me the pictures, I will share them with the world here on Wolf Brother Wednesday. Now, my Wolf Brother topic of the week is I want to talk about conversions. And conversions, of course, you know, a lot of us in the community are definitely into conversions. I've just watched an episode of Tabletop Banter where Callum wants to use some bolt-action Siberian soldiers as kind of frost-flavored guardsmen, which seems super awesome to me. Of course, you know, the frost kind of theme definitely does appeal to me. But I just think it's a super neat idea because it's going to be a version of Guardsmen that no one else is playing. And speaking of Guardsmen that no one else is playing, you may remember my man Atlas from this really cool Imperial Guard battle report that I put up, you know, not too long ago. So during that time, I showed a sergeant that he had that was a custom-made Jedi that he made out of green stuff with flowing robes and a Dooku style lightsaber, and it's really just all green stuff and I think a piece of a sprue for the lightsaber blade. So really cool to see, and the man has just kept going and kept going. There's a Attack on Titan scout sergeant that he has. He's got a cowboy he's custom made, and I'm going to show you some of his conversion work going on. Alright guys, so I think Atlas's work is super cool. You know, I love seeing the conversions he's making. He's going with mostly a Star Wars theme, but it's really whatever pops into his mind he's restuffing. Some of my conversion work that I've done, I've made my own brand Red Maw out of a veteran squad guy with an axe, which was an old pewter model. Very hard to do because I had to get in there and just tear his head off, and it took a lot of, I mean, there was a hacksaw involved at one point, a Dremel, and just eventually just, you know, shears and a lot of brute force, but it took a lot of effort to get off. I put a Logan Grimnar head on him, and I think he came out looking great, you know, colored up in my Silver Moon colors. And of course, you know, that's not a heavy conversion, but that's just one of my favorites because Brand Red Maw is one of my favorite Wolf Lords of all time. And you know, I've done some other things like the Imperial Guard Rough Riders. You know, I converted up a Raptor Knight kit from Warhammer Fantasy and some Cadians and made my own Rough Rider unit, which I'll show you some pictures of right over here. And that was super cool to me because I don't even play Guardsmen. I just love the idea of Rough Riders, and I entered it in for a tournament. Came in second place one time. Fun fact, I forgot to include those 4 models in when I talked about the number of 67 models that I did last year. So actually my model count for last year was 71. Not that it matters, but I just thought it was neat that I forgot those guys. And the tree stump there in the middle is actually hiding a speaker. Not well, but it does contain the speaker. And if you press the button, you know, I've recorded the quote from Jurassic Park where, you know, the horns start, you know, going off, bum, 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 clever girl. And that's because I've got these raptors, these Rough Riders coming in, bearing down on this poor little cultist, you know, staring at one in front and 2 coming from the side. So, anyways, the reason I wanted to talk about these conversions, first of all, because Atlas shared all of this amazing work with me, and I wanted you guys to be able to see that amazing work that Atlas shared with me, but also because that brings me to my Wolfbrother question of the week. Okay, and I want to know, I just shared with you my Raptors and my Brand Red model. Those are the favorite conversions I've ever done. And everybody, you know, like everybody says, you know, when you convert something, you make it your own. It's got your own flavor to it, and it makes it different than what everybody else has. So, definitely a big believer in it. And I want to know what you guys have converted up, and what's your favorite thing that you've converted. Let me know down in the comments below, or if you've got your own Q&A, I'd be happy to check out your Q&A and hear your answers. So, I hope you liked this Wolfbrother Wednesday, and if you did, then grab up an axe and smash that like button in the name of the Emperor. And drop some comments down below. First of all, let me know if you like my bikes, because I'm super proud of those, and I need to get those done. And also because I want to know about your conversions, or if you just want to chat, hey, your Wolfbrother loves talking to you. And if you're not yet part of the pack, then your friendly neighborhood Wolfbrother would love to have you as part of the pack here on the Frost and Fist. Until next time, guys, stay frosty.